We've all played that one Mario Maker level that just frustrates us so badly we want to break everything in sight. I know how you feel, and I'm here to tell you that it's not your fault that you're angry about it. It's the level creator's fault. Bold statement, right? Let me explain. In essence, a good Mario Maker level should never frustrate you to the point of pure anger. If designed correctly, the player will thoroughly enjoy the level even if they died a million times. Making something like this is based on a very important principle in game design that even some of the biggest developers overlook sometimes. Today, we're talking about the difference between a difficult challenge for the player and an unfair one. Let's get right into it. So, the first thing I'm going to talk about is what actually makes a level feel unfair to the player. Now, a lot of factors can contribute to frustration and unfairness, but the main one in my mind is the player not knowing what to do next in a level. If the player is ever in a scenario where they seem lost or confused, it's always your fault for creating a level without proper direction, and not their fault for not understanding. Having a level with a clear focus can really help the player understand your level better. This is easily done with 4-step level design, and if you've never heard of that, I would highly suggest watching the video linked in the card right now before you finish this one. In the same boat as that, there's also scenarios where the player has to guess which path is the correct one to take. Yes, I'm talking about pick-a-pipe. This is never okay to put in your level. I would avoid pick-a-pipe type setups at all costs, but if you have to put one in your level, provide some sort of clear indication of which path to take. But also, you might think, if I don't kill the player, if they take the wrong path, that's fine, right? Wrong. Now you're just wasting my time, buddy. We're playing Mario Maker, not Guess Who. Anyways, another big factor that is similar and also contributes to frustration is when a level relies on memorization rather than skill to complete. In theory, if a player is good enough to complete a level on the first try, then they should be able to do that. The creator should set them up for success by placing clear indicators such as coins, arrows, and track guides when necessary. But let me unpack that last statement real quick. Notice how I said when necessary. Do not place indicators when it is obvious what the player is supposed to do. Honestly, it just comes off as condescending to the player at that point, in my opinion. We're not stupid. Find a healthy balance for the amount of indicators that you put down. My best advice would be to ask yourself, if I were to come across this for the first time, would I know what to do? If the answer is no, then place some indicators that guide the player in the right direction. A little bit goes a long way in these cases. Alright, so now that we've gone over the things that plague unfair levels in Mario Maker, let's take a look at a step-by-step guide on how to make sure your level is fair and enjoyable to the player. First things first, and I've said this multiple times in other videos before, introduce your level's challenge in a safe environment before testing the player on it. The most discouraging thing to experience when you first enter a level is the bombardment of an obstacle that is almost sure to kill any player that doesn't have the reflexes of Sonic the Hedgehog. Just imagine this. You walk into a room, and then all of a sudden you get pummeled with tons of pillows for absolutely no reason. You had no way of knowing it was coming, and it would be really annoying. You see what I mean? Continuing on, after introducing this challenge, you can begin testing the player on it. But make sure your challenges start off small and easy and get progressively harder as you make your way through the level. This should be common sense, and I've mentioned it in multiple videos before, but apparently people still aren't getting it through their thick skulls. It's almost like I have a very small following that has absolutely no influence on the general population. On top of progressive challenges, I want to reiterate on the importance of indicators in your levels. Now, usually for traditional type levels, coins that simply guide the player are plenty good enough. The other indicators rarely need any use until you're creating a Kaizo level, but we'll get into how to create those in a separate video. It's also a great idea to have a friend test out your level just to make sure that the objective of the stage is clear. They can offer some great insight even if they've never even played Mario Maker. If you don't have any friends, well, I can't really help you there. I make videos on how to build levels. I'm not a miracle worker. Anyways, there's one more thing I want to mention when you're wanting to make sure your level is fair, and that is checkpoint placement. This is one of the most important aspects of a level in my opinion. Checkpoints give the player a sense of relief and gratitude when they reach them, and you can amplify those feelings if you place your checkpoint correctly. In most cases, checkpoints should be placed right after a reasonably difficult challenge about halfway through the level. If you have 2 checkpoints, obviously this would be a thirds way through the level and 2/3, but you get the point. You could also get away with placing the checkpoint right before a super difficult challenge that you know will take the player numerous tries. It's all situational, but follows the same principle regardless. Always put yourself in the player's shoes during the design process. testing rigorously and trying to break the level in any way possible just to make sure that there is no way the player can be surprised with an unintended outcome. And there you go. That's my list of tips on keeping your level from being unfair. I hope these helped you understand good level design a bit better and maybe even inspired you a little bit. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, as it really helps the channel out. And if you want to see more videos like this one, make sure to subscribe and be notified every time I upload. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.